Arthur Folasa Ah Loo, a beloved fashion designer and former Project Runway contestant, was tragically killed during a peaceful protest in Salt Lake City, Utah. The shocking incident unfolded at the No Kings rally on June 14, 2025, when what began as a non-violent demonstration ended in gunfire and chaos. Ah Loo's sudden and senseless death has not only devastated his family and community but has also sparked national conversations around protest safety, gun laws, and the role of volunteer security at public events. A rising star and cultural beacon known affectionately as AFA by friends and fans, Arthur Folasa Ah Loo was more than a designer. He was a cultural trailblazer. Born in Samoa and raised in the villages of Latopa and Falelima, AFA eventually made Utah his home, where he poured his heart into his designs and mentorship. He rose to national attention as the first Samoan contestant on Project Runway Season 17. His work, which fused traditional Polynesian motifs with bold modern silhouettes, quickly made waves in the fashion world. AFA was also the founder of the Creative Pacific Foundation, a nonprofit focused on empowering Pacific Islander artists. His clothing was worn by notable figures including Auliʻi Cravalho, the voice of Disney's Mona, and reality stars from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. AFA was more than just a creative force. He was a father, a husband, and a cherished community leader. Friends described him as full of warmth, humor, and compassion. His death has left an unfillable void for those who knew him personally, and for the cultural communities he uplifted so passionately. The No Kings protest, a peaceful movement, turns deadly. The No Kings protests were organized in cities across the U.S. as a reaction to growing fears of authoritarianism in American politics. The Salt Lake City demonstration drew thousands of peaceful protesters to downtown, where people gathered to speak out in favor of democracy, inclusivity, and human rights. Tragically, the protest took a horrific turn when a 24-year-old man, later identified as Arturo Roberto Gamboa, appeared near the crowd wearing a gas mask and carrying an AR-15-style semi-automatic rifle. Witnesses say he was not actively firing the weapon but was walking in a threatening stance toward the crowd, instigating panic. Two volunteer peacekeepers in neon green vests who had been designated to help maintain order confronted the man. According to authorities, one of the peacekeepers drew a firearm and opened fire in an attempt to neutralize the perceived threat, while Gamboa sustained a minor injury. One of the bullets struck Arthur Ah Loo in the chest. He was rushed to a nearby hospital but later pronounced dead. Unanswered questions and ongoing investigation in the wake of the shooting, confusion and controversy have erupted. Law enforcement confirmed that the peacekeepers involved were not police officers or licensed security guards, but volunteers organized through the protests' planning committees. While Utah is a constitutional carry state, allowing most adults to carry firearms without a permit, questions are now being raised about the legality and ethics of armed civilian involvement in protest security. As of now, Arturo Gamboa has been arrested and charged with multiple offenses, including inciting panic and second-degree murder, despite not discharging his weapon. The peacekeeper who fired the fatal shot is cooperating with investigators, and the Salt Lake City District Attorney's Office has launched a full investigation to determine whether the shooting was justified under Utah's self-defense and justifiable homicide statutes. The case has reignited debates about the role of civilians in armed security roles, the increasing presence of firearms at political events, and the safety of protest spaces. Community mourning and tributes. Arthur Ah Loo's death has triggered an outpouring of grief from around the world. Fashion houses, celebrities, cultural leaders, and thousands of fans have posted tributes honoring his legacy. Many noted how AFA made space for underrepresented voices in the fashion industry and worked tirelessly to uplift others. Auliʻi Cravalho posted a moving tribute. Arthur's designs made me feel powerful, proud, and connected to my heritage. His loss is not just personal, it's cultural. Closer to home, Utah's Pacific Islander community held candlelight vigils and remembrance services celebrating his contributions as both an artist and mentor. His family has started a memorial fund to support creative scholarships in his name, continuing the work he so passionately believed in. State Representative Verona Maga, a close friend of Ah Loo, delivered a tearful statement. Arthur was joy, color, and heart. He made us feel seen. He made us proud. Protest safety in the national spotlight. Ah Loo's death, sadly, is not an isolated incident in today's protest landscape. As demonstrations become more common and politically charged, The question of who is responsible for maintaining peace has become more urgent, while some organizers have taken to appointing volunteer peacekeepers to help manage crowds. Experts warn that arming these volunteers without proper training can lead to devastating consequences. The tragic outcome of this incident serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unregulated security at public gatherings. Legal scholars and civil rights advocates are now calling for clearer guidelines and oversight to prevent similar tragedies in the future. A call to action and reflection as his family, friends, and fans grieve. Many are also using this moment to call for systemic changes. Whether it's improved safety measures at protests, more accountability for those who use firearms, or greater support for underrepresented voices in the arts. Ah Loo's legacy is already inspiring action. In the words of one protester, Arthur came to speak up for justice, and he paid the ultimate price. We owe it to him to keep fighting but to do it smarter and safer. His funeral is scheduled to be held later this week in Salt Lake City, with traditional Samoan ceremonies planned. Friends and colleagues in the fashion industry have also announced a tribute runway show later this summer in New York, where his final unreleased collection will be presented in his honor. Final thoughts. Arthur Folasa Ah Loo's death has shaken not just a city but an entire nation. He came to the protest in peace, an artist, a father, a friend. His life was a canvas painted with passion, purpose, and culture. That such a life could be lost in a moment of chaos is heartbreaking beyond words. And yet, even in his absence, his impact remains stitched into every dress he designed, every artist he mentored, and every heart he touched. AFA's legacy is one of creativity, community, and courage. Let that legacy continue to guide the movements for justice, equity, and peace.